BV Srinivas of the Youth Congress saying middle class ka halwa mat banaiye. Hina.
That's right, and if you will see this picture, this is from 2023's Halwa ceremony before the budget, and this is the picture that Congress Party's Srinivas BV has used, saying, Nirmala ji, aap aaj halwa khaye ya nahi, lekin middle class ka halwa mat banana. So remember, in 2023, this picture went viral, and same is being pulled out to attack the government.
It's a meme galore, and suddenly budget, is in the eye of a storm as far as memes go. But let's get back to the moot point, and let me take a quick round from across the table on what the biggest budget expectation for announcement is. And let me begin with you, Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. What would be your biggest expectation from this budget?
The biggest expectation is authentic numbers. At least for the first time in 11 years, if they can just add 2 and 2 and say it is 4. These are the numbers we presented, and this is the outcome. Even today, they would say that they have given 60 crore mudra loans, which means that every viewer that is watching this, in 26 crore families, 60 crore mudra loans will mean 2 mudra loans per family. And you look around and you will not find anybody getting mudra loan. So this scam that this government is setting up at the highest agenda, in their 11th year, they should end this scam and be honest with the people.
Okay. Mr. Deepak Reddy, do you think nobody's got a mudra loan as stated by Ghanshyam Tiwari? All numbers in the budget are false. In that case, do you have any budget expectations?
Yeah, Navika, the facts and the expectations, there is a gap between there. But I would like to say that, rather than talking politics the way the India ecosystem people talk, we should look at certain facts. Whereas France is paying, the number of people who pay income tax is around 78%, and India it's only 2.2% who are paying. And one more interesting fact is, if you go down on religious lines, the Muslim population is only 0.5% are paying, whereas beneficiaries is around 20 to 30% of all schemes. So there is certain issue as far as the tax is concerned, and there are certain issues on the ground. So the suggestion should be much more constructive, and we should be looking at how what are the changes which are to be brought in this front. Yes, as you spoke earlier, there are a lot of complaints on tax terrorism also. Now that's another front which has to be which has to be addressed, because the people in the tax department have found other ways to harass people and extract money. There is a lot of expectation, and we are all eager, and we think Nirmala Sitharaman ji is going to be a little more sensitive to the expectations of the people this time.
Well, Ghanshyam Tiwari, would you want to respond to Deepak Reddy's, tax versus scheme contribution by different segments of the society?
Deepak is basically right from the very beginning. My friend Deepak is saying this is tax terrorism and government should be cautious. Who is he telling to? Who is this he's saying to? When you want the entire government to be, for 1 or 2 crony capitalists, there will be tax terrorism on everybody. No one in this panel possibly will be able to say what a liter of milk today is in Delhi. Whether it is a biologist or whether it's an economist, they will have to look at these numbers. A poor person is not able to afford milk and bread. MSME is not able to face tax terrorism, and 1 or 2 crony capitalists are trying to become the richest people in the world.
Anand Ranganathan, the ball is back in the court of the biologists and the scientists.
I love this. When you can't rebut on facts, you kind of allege and abuse the person from where the facts are coming from, be that as it may. Look, the fact of the matter is, as I said, for some the glass is brimming, for some the glass is half empty, for some the glass doesn't exist, the water isn't there. Now, Ghanshyam, my good friend, is doubting all the numbers coming from the government, as he says, except the second quarter GDP. I challenge him to say that is wrong. Let him say that is not 5%.
Ghanshyam Tiwari, second quarter GDP numbers are also wrong.
That's the problem with biologists. I didn't doubt all the numbers. I just said 60 crore mudra loans. Can Anand say that in this country 60 crore mudra loans have been given? Can he name 5 people who got mudra loans? This nonsense of mudra loan as a way to cover up the mass unemployment that people like Anand are easily able to cover, and people like Deepak will meekly question, has to be called out. This is a scam on the future of the youth of the country.
Rohan Gupta.
Navika ji.
हाँ जी, रिस्पॉन्ड करिए.
Navika ji, the problem is the opposition party, they trust numbers of हिंडनबर्ग के नंबर पे ट्रस्ट करते हैं, आरबीआई के नंबर पे भरोसा नहीं है, नीति आयोग के नंबर पे भरोसा नहीं है. मैं चैलेंज के साथ कहता हूं 51 करोड़ मुद्रा लोन है, 36 करोड़ महिलाओं को गी है. अगर उनको प्रॉब्लम है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फाइल करे, आरटीआई में जाके ले, पर आपको देश के आंकड़ों पे भरोसा नहीं है. हिंडनबर्ग की जो दुकान बंद हो गई उस पे दो पार्लियामेंट सेशन आपने खराब किया. शर्म आनी चाहिए आपको. If you read the economic survey yesterday, it has outlined all the numbers. Let me tell you, Navika, as of now when we are talking, we are number 1 in two-wheeler manufacturing. We are number 2 in mobile phone manufacturing. We are number 3 as far as the research pool is concerned across the world. We are number 4 in renewable energy capacity across the world. Can Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari or opposition party question these numbers? I am challenging it. In digital transactions,
can you question these numbers?
One out of two
Very quick, let
transactions
me appeal
in
to the
world
common
happens in
sense of
India.
every
Can
viewer
Mr.
and everyone on the
Ghanshyam
panelist,
question these
whichever side you are. The BJP national spokesperson, 36 crore women in India have gotten Mudra loan. What is the working women population in India? How many of them are in employment? This is the scam that BJP pulls off. When in a
How
country
can you compare these numbers one at a time? One at a
There is
time.
a kind of a category of people, we call them the flat earthers, which means they think that the earth is flat and they will bring data to prove it. That's all that I want to say on this whole data argument. That I know flat earthers.
Since data is being debated, let me just give me 1 minute. I'll quote you some data from the government.
Thoda 40 seconds.
Daily wage rate, real wage rate had increased between 19 to 30.1 during UPA. It has remained constant 32 currently under NDA. Same thing holds true for the rate of growth in investment. It was 11.5, then it's 4.8 now. Government data, I'm not good. So if it is about data, take the data exactly as it is. Why are you making a story when the data does not tell the story that you want to tell? This is from the government.
What the data doesn't have is you get 5 kg of free rice and so many other things. So if you say only wage, you have to take the wage goods that you are getting free. So if you add that
actually proves the point further that if the growth is happening everywhere and it's all hunky-dory, why is the government extending the PMGKAY along acronym 81.35 crore beneficiaries for 5 more years? If people are better off,
during COVID. That started during COVID.
Why? It's a great question. I have a response. In fact, Shamika Ravi did some studies on it, and she found out that the people who are getting extra grain, they are spending more on fruits. So it is actually they're getting more nutrition. They get and I'm against it, by the way, because I believe this is just extending this thing about making more and more ambassadors and basically ruining the ecology of India, the environment of India, draining more water, using the same agricultural practices to
But what do you say about this data?
But
what do you say about
because there's breaking news coming in. Hina, market seems to be up by 900 points. What are 200 points. What are they seeing? What are they seeing?
So right now, Sensex is at 77,724, 223 points up. Remember, you got worried initially when it went into red, but now it's back in green again. There are 4 key expectations that markets have from the finance minister. 1, capital gains tax should be reduced. 2nd, income tax rates should be reduced. The government should be able to meet its fiscal deficit target, and the capital expenditure should be hiked by at least 15%. Navika. So this is what markets are looking forward to, and given the kind of commentary that has come from the government so far, the data that Eco Survey presented yesterday, they seem to be optimistic.
All right. We also have Mr. Khambata, the chairman of Rasna, joining this debate, and joining us from the CII Electronics Manufacturing Council is Mr. Vinod Sharma. First to you, Mr. Khambata. Mr. Khambata, how do you see the budget? What are the expectations of corporate India? And are you looking at the budget addressing the issue of somewhat low confidence at the moment that we're seeing in the Indian economy?
Let me come to the confidence bit. I think Indian economy is doing much better than many countries in the world.
And I was in Davos just last week. I think the confidence of people outside India is much more than the confidence of Indians here. I think the world now is seeing India in a very different way, and they are very confident of Indian government policies, they are very confident of Indian corporate sector, and we are all confident of growth. So I definitely believe we are in a sweet spot. And I think the India time has come. My personal feeling is that forget 47, we can become a Viksit Bharat much before that. And I think this economic survey yesterday, which was announced, actually gives a roadmap, a prescription towards that. I only hope that parts of it are really actioned in this budget itself and in a very timely manner. To give 2-3 examples just very quickly, is the whole overall of the custom duty structure. Because in many areas we see the finished goods are today actually at a lower tax than the raw materials. So there is an inverted duty structure. Now that is not for any manufacturing economy. Forget US or any other country, even India also. So
are you worried about you know, the threats coming from Donald Trump and do you think the finance minister needs to address any of those concerns?
I think if you ask me, that is a slightly different matter, but I definitely believe that the way the geopolitical advantage, because I think a lot of manufacturing which was being only targeted to one country will be shifting to countries like India. And I think there is a huge advantage which India carries today in the world, and a lot of companies are looking at having, let us say, alternate manufacturing, and India definitely is a destination.
Politicians believe, Mr. Khambata, that you are saying all these nice things because you are scared of ED. I want to ask you, is fear making you say this?
No, nothing. nothing, if you ask me. No, I think this is a myth. Because I'll tell you, industry is doing well than it was ever. So why is industry doing well? Across, if you see the corporate results, forget 1 or 2 companies. It is not 1 or 2 companies. Across corporates, the results are good. Across corporates, growth is there. If you see in any industrial areas, the land prices have become double. There are no employees available. The employee cost has gone up. I think we can see development happening. So I don't need to talk about it.
Okay, I'll get in Ghanshyam Tiwari on that, but I also want, you know, since I'm the sari person, I also want to talk about the handloom sector and Nirmala Sitharaman's choice of saris. You know, 8th budget, record budgets, and look at the way she started. Well, 25, it's a Madhubani sari. In 24, she had a white silk sari with a magenta border. And then also the budget before elections, she was wearing a kantha silk, a temple sari in 2023, traditional South Indian. Odisha, Bomkai blue sari, brown sari was in 2022, Ikat silk in 21, gold silk in 2020, and Mangalgiri sari in 2019.
This is the difference. Compared to that, Chidambaram wore only white veshti all 6 years. No, I have an important question for Mr. Khambata. You know, he said things are going so well, we might attain Viksit Bharat much before 2047. Just a small query. Mr. Khambata, according to you, what should be in US dollars the GDP per capita of Viksit Bharat?
No, see, definitely it should be much higher than what it is today. But we have to see, not in dollar terms, we are spending in Indian rupees, so we have to see in Indian rupee terms, okay? Well, I honestly believe that in economics, if you go too much into this notional, we are talking of the reality, what I call money in the people's hands. And definitely we need to ensure that the per capita income goes up. And that is the reason why I am saying, which you probably didn't say, that we need more manufacturing to happen. We need to create more manufacturing jobs, not only jobs in the services sector, because the jobs in the services sector will only benefit a certain part. I always have been saying that we should do for food processing what IT has done for urban India, because if food processing and agriculture develops, urban India develops. We need to have more money in the hands of the rural man. We need to. That's why my in my opinion, this budget, which we are just going to see, should really focus on MSMEs, manufacturing, export-led economy, and agriculture. If we do that, definitely the cost will go up.
Yeah, Mr. Vinod Sharma is the chairman of the CI National Committee on Electronics Manufacturing and MD of Decode Electronics. So, Mr. Vinod Sharma, a lot of focus, of course, on manufacturing. What are you hoping for specifically from the budget? And there's been so much talk about AI actually, impacting on jobs. What is the impact that you see as far as electronics manufacturing is concerned?
Yeah, I'll come to AI later, but on manufacturing, I think we have an opportunity to be that China plus one. But the difference is that what the world is looking for is a trusted global value chain. They can trust India and India's policies. They can invest in India so that we can manufacture not just for India but for the world.
Just interrupting you for
so
30 seconds. Those are pictures of the cabinet meeting that has just concluded. The budget has been approved by the cabinet. Those are shots from inside the Parliament of India. Continue, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, so there are some fundamental issues that we still hope will be corrected. Of course, from the electronic sector, you will see that wherever that PLI for mobile phone, as a big example, we have now become the second largest merchandise export is in mobile phones after oil. So if one set of policies can do this, we are hoping that now we can, instead of not only assembly of mobile phones, but true value-added manufacturing can happen, which means the components for mobile phones, components for electronics can be made in India. And it is our hope that this budget, they will be announcing a component policy.
All right, big update coming in from the cabinet itself. The Prime Minister has told his cabinet colleagues, Amit Kumar, breaking that information that this is a budget for the Aam Aadmi. This is for the poor, for farmers, for women and for the youth. It's for their aspirations to be met that this budget is all about. He's also talked about the Garib, Yuva, Annadata or Nari Shakti ka budget hai. This is GYAN. That's the acronym being given. Garib, Yuva, Annadata or Nari. Those are going to be the target areas.
Well, GYAN is fine, but in the GYAN, if there is a bit of tax relief, we'd quite love that GYAN coming our way, and not just for Naris, maybe some of the Nars here also. Waiting for those tax cuts. Well, there, the Speaker of Lok Sabha coming, taking his seat, and in the next 10 seconds, I think we're going to see Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman